Now, there is also a movement on the Occupy Calgary camp this hour. The city wanted activists out of their camp in Olympic Plaza this morning. Let's check in with the CBC's Brian Labby. He is at that plaza. So what's happening where you are right now, Brian?
Well, not a whole lot right now, but there was certainly a lot of activity about an hour and a half ago, and that's when City Bylaw Services moved into Olympic Plaza here in downtown Calgary and issued all of these notices. They're essentially warning notices that were placed on all of the tents that you see in behind me, about 24 tents here. This isn't an actual bylaw infraction, but it's stating from the city that if the tents are not removed within 24 hours, that the city will be removing them on its own, essentially impounding all of the items and all of the tents that you see in behind me. So there was quite a bit of activity, a lot of bylaw officers here in the park, supported by members of the Calgary Police Service. So essentially the city is saying that the people here at Occupy Calgary are, essentially violating several laws under the city's parks bylaw, including camping in a city park, entering or remaining in a park when it's closed, damage to the park, and also just essentially placing signs in the park. That's in violation of a city bylaw as well. So the city, again, taking a very cautious and slow approach to the Occupy Calgary movement here in this city in terms of, serving 24 hours notice yesterday, and then again, essentially another 24-hour window for these people to essentially pack up and move out. And I spoke with the head of Bylaw Services just about half an hour ago, and he confirms that this includes not just unoccupied tents, but also occupied tents as well.
Brian, we heard from a protester in Toronto saying he was surprised by these eviction notices, and he thinks the police are going to be unpredictable. What is the reaction there in Calgary to these notices?
Well, it's still unclear how they're going to react. I just spoke with one of the spokespeople here, and he's telling me that they are consulting with a lawyer to see if they can challenge this and possibly get an injunction against their eviction. So that is still unclear in terms of how they're going to react, but it's clear that they are seeking legal advice in terms of exploring all of their options. They don't want to go, but at the same time, they don't want to stay in the park if all of their tents are removed. So it's still unclear what their next step is going to be. I'm told that they'll have a little bit more clarity on that issue in about an hour or so.
All right, thanks for this, Brian.
Okay, thanks.
Brian Labby in Calgary.